What is going on, boys and girls, children of all ages? This is the Dope Show, and I'm your host, Dope. And it's Sunday night, and you know what time it is? It's time for the Dope Show Live. And today we've got a very special guest. I try to bring people on here all the time that, stuff you've never seen, things you never see again. So, we're going to have somebody on here today that's one of the best YouTube comic collectors I know. He's got one of the best collections. Here is comic collector. Let me see if I can bring him here. It's Comic Collector Geek. There he is. What's up, Comic
Hey,
Collector
how's it going?
Geek?
Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, anytime, man. I like to bring people on that's got collections that I just get tired of the same old Amazing Spider-Man 300 or Hulk 181. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it gets a bit much after like the 20th.
yeah. I mean, you can see that anywhere. So I like to bring on people that's got collections that are just cool.
Yeah,
And I love. It don't matter if it's crime, horror, sci-fi, old Batman, anything Golden Age. I love all of it. I've been staring at your Donald Duck back there. I see
yeah,
it.
yeah. Little Donald Duck over there.
Yep. That's a cool book to get.
Yeah, it's actually a very affordable one, believe it or not. It's like you can get it for usually under like around 200-300 at the max. Like
yeah. Well, I mean, the cool part about it is, I mean, a lot of that is that cross collectible stuff too. You're fighting the Disney crowd and you're fighting the comic book crowd.
yeah.
So.
But the funny thing is, it's an old book, but it actually, because it was like a linen cover, like a canvas cover, it's just very durable. So it survived. Like a lot of them survived. So there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, they're bigger too, ain't they? Than just
it's huge. Yeah, it's first Donald.
Yeah, you can't beat that. You know what I'm saying? So you bring us some horror books, man. I know you said you had some horror and crime or something.
I bought a bunch.
we better get going because we're all in our show.
Okay, so how do we start out with? I don't know. Whenever I think of horror, I always think of EC Comics.
EC is a key.
This is one of my favorite EC covers.
Yeah.
You got the mummy girl and the two-headed guy, and this is actually the origin of the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
So kind of a key that way, but it's just a great Jack Davis cover.
The red's real dark on there. It ain't been faded. Red's usually the first color to go in a comic book,
Yeah, actually, this one has really good colors. It is restored, but I don't know why. Like, this is one of those ones where you probably could remove the restoration and it wouldn't affect the grade.
Yeah, that's a beautiful book.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
I love EC. EC, they're the king of horror when it comes to pre-code horror, Definitely the most popular of all.
But I kind of wanted to show some stuff that people wouldn't see very often. So this is the one that not many people would know.
I love the artwork of that series. Yeah.
It is the craziest artwork, actually.
Yeah.
I kind of like these weird little demon people. I don't know.
Yes, that's a beautiful book. I love that whole series. That whole series is like you said, all the artwork on them is good.
Yeah, some really fun stuff. And
you usually see the hardback new books, and they'll always use those covers because they're so good.
Yeah. And then I brought a run of books, and I don't have the big book from the run. It's kind of annoying. So it's a cool run, but I don't have the big book. That one that everyone goes, oh, you got to have that book. Well, I don't have that book. So this is Tales of Horror.
That's beautiful too.
Yeah. So I like this one. I like the girl, the girl in the swimsuit and got the monster in her swimming pool.
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. I like that one. I love you said, the monster.
It has a cool run. It's a cool.
And the 50s bathing suit and the snakes.
Yeah. It's always awesome. A girl in red, right? That's getting some
red dress in distress.
Yeah, red dress in distress. Yeah.
It's like the inside joke, I guess, back in the day.
Yeah, so this is here's an example of that. Tentacle monster. We
just combined the two. We just got the monster and the snakes from the other and combined them with this. I love the solid backgrounds. I think it makes that pop.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean?
It's a good run, actually. The famous one, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second.
That one's beautiful. That's probably my favorite one in the run.
Yeah, there's another. And this is kind of a funny one. This is number 1.
Yeah.
And see, they put the thing in front of him because he's the ugliest man alive. And then it's just a bunch. Yeah. This one is not so great, but
I kind of like the candle there.
Yeah, and then we got the big.
I like that one. That's weird.
Yeah,
That
this
might be
one's
some kind of old sci-fi, the giant
yeah. It has
beetle.
that. Really reminds me of sci-fi kind of,
Yeah,
but it's still the
I
girl
like
in the
that one.
red. Girl in the red. And then we
The big
got
head in the
this,
background.
and then this one's cool. So this is up here, is what the one that's
Yep.
really famous.
Yeah.
This is the. It goes for big money though. It's kind of like
Oh.
3,000 plus. But
See, I like that one a lot. The only thing I found weird about the old days of the pre-code horror is they always like had them big word bubbles, or they had the like box always in the bad spot. If you notice on some of them, it's like, why put the box right over the woman or something? But
yeah,
they do sometimes.
EC was the worst for that. Actually, they put a lot of stuff on their stuff.
And EC's already got that big header,
Yeah. Actually, speaking of cool big header ones for EC, this is a really great one.
Oh yeah.
I love 3D comics.
Yeah.
So this is this is a really hard one to find. Actually, this is Al Felstein, I believe.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really cool one. And then another big one for EC. I'm going to show some more.
I have the matching sister that I got a 1.8 in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. Actually, I was lucky about this one. I got it just before it went on some hot list, and it just went the price went crazy on this book.
That is the book. That's the book everybody wants out of that run.
Yeah, this is it Wally Wood? I believe? Yeah.
That's a beautiful book. The old car in the background and the moonlight coming through. A lot of people they don't pick up real well on the cameras, but you can see it when you're looking at it. Car back there.
There's just so much going on that cover.
Oh, I think I got that one in a 3.5 too.
Oh, really? So we're like twinsies.
Again, 2 times in a row.
The thing that's funny about this one, somebody put like 5 cents.
Yeah. I've always loved that one though, because the girl, girl's beautiful. Good girl.
The lingerie kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of like your good girl art, and then you got your horror back there. And if you look close, he's got the skull in his eyes. That don't really pick up on camera either.
Yeah, wait a second. If I zoom in, you can
that's a beautiful book.
But the thing that I like about this is that it matches that good girl with horror. I really like that. I like good girl comics especially. So
yeah.
And speaking of more good girl / horror, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this title.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Strange Mysteries.
Yeah. My favorite one in that run is ever seen that, like the girl combing her hair, and there's the like witch behind her.
Oh yes, I think I got that somewhere. But
I love all those books. So,
I think that's in the mail. Strangely enough, I actually won it on a what's it called? My Comic Shop had an auction, and they just had amazing stuff, and I was like, oh wow, I gotta get that. And my budget was like $1,000. I spent $5,000. Just so many.
It's easy to do on that kind of stuff.
It is crazy. And then we got. So this
LB.
is not really horror, but it's got a horror theme to it.
Yeah,
so,
I love them. That's an LB, right?
LB Cole, yeah. It's got like the hanging.
Yeah. I love that. I got some of those suspense.
I actually like it because of the cuckoo clock element. I kind of like the whole cuckoo clock, and I kind of like the stylization. It's not typical for him to do it this way. This is like he only did it within the suspense run where it's kind of more liney. I don't know if that makes sense. But
the suspense books to me always reminded me of like Twilight Zone.
Very much, very much
horror, but it's more like a 50s style horror. You know what I
mean? Yeah. It's an interesting title, and this is another one that I really like. Ellery Queen. I just like these,
I like the web back there.
The hand, the hand's kind of creepy too. It's like kind of gnarly hand.
Yep.
So I like when you can I don't mind this 1.0. The only thing that's wrong. The only thing that's wrong with the book is the spine split.
Yeah. So, I've never cared about grades. I just want one that presents well, and and I want the grade to match the price you want to sell it to me.
Yeah, exactly. So
when you get into this stuff, grade don't matter. Yeah,
I got this one at a good price because of the spine split. And another really great title that has some amazing covers is Mr. Mystery.
Yeah, that's cool one.
So that one. I actually trying to get the whole run of this as well. There's just they're really expensive though.
You got the ant with a human face and all that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, you know what's funny? I had an opportunity to buy the ant with the human face one.
Yeah.
But it was like $3,000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's too much. So I let it pass.
Yeah.
But then the same copy sold for like 10,000. It's like,
and there's one where they're pushing the hand down in the pot, and there's one where they're bringing out a skull out of a pot. And I don't know if it's the same artist or not, but it looks cool side by side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one's cool because, you know, he's getting like, I don't know if this is acid or what it is, but it has that kind of look to it, right? It's getting pushed into the pot.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. So, another series that I actually have the complete run, and this is one I really, really like. This is my favorite cover from the run, is Ghost Comics.
I've got that whole run, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, so I like Maurice Whitman. So
I was going to say a while ago when you was talking about Good Girl Art meets horror, he's my favorite for that.
Yeah, so so that's why I always think of this one. This one is actually this is my favorite. I'm not sure which is your favorite from the run, but this is my favorite from the run. I like the lingerie, and I like the little the figments of her dream. Like it's supposed to be her nightmare, and the guy
in the back.
You can kind of see him. I'm not sure if it shows that well. But,
you can see him back there.
He's got like a hand, and he's like kind of like it's almost like a puppeteer, and he's like controlling her dreams, kind of thing. So I
like that one. That's number 2, and I like number 4 where that girl's walking off the side of the house.
Yeah,
and then I like 6 where the girl's tied down and it's got like the ghoul over.
You're the one that actually told me about that one in terms of the perspective of it. Yeah, that if you actually put it in the right perspective, she is falling.
Yeah. So, that's a beautiful run. I love those books.
Yeah, usually
that's probably my favorite run. Oh,
everyone likes this one though.
That's the belle of the ball. That's the most expensive one in the run.
I like number 2 better, but this one's the one that everyone goes for.
And it's got a lot of people can't notice it. Now it don't show that good on TV on the screen, but there's a face back there too.
Yeah, I knew about that. There's like a witch or something. Like
you can see a spider web, and you can see a face.
I'm not sure what it is. It's like it's supposed to be a ghost, I imagine. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's a ghost. That's like all the covers have a ghost on them.
And it reminds you of like a cave or something, but then you see he's coming through like an attic door or something. So
it looks like an attic, like she's being kept away in the attic or something.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting cover. I mean, it's great because you got the bondage, you got this like
ghoul looking
whatever, like a hunchback, you know.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
Yeah, and then you got the guy who's in the background, not going to do much, but.
The one run for me would be Ghost Comics. That's if I only could have one run, that'd be it.
So yeah, I think like in sci-fi, you think of Planet Comics being the kind of gateway.
Yeah.
I think of Ghost Comics as being the gateway for pre-code horror.
That Fiction House, everything about it. I mean, they kept their names pretty simple. You got Ghost Comics, Fight Comics. They're all just
it's like one word.
Planet Comics. Yeah.
Yeah. So another one that these used to be a lot cheaper, but they kind of went up a bit. Is St. John. Yeah, they have some really good stuff. This is Matt Baker.
Yeah.
So this was always expensive, but the others in the run have really great covers too. I never understood why it was a cheap run.
Yeah.
But this is another one that if you want to get into pre-code horror but don't really have the money for it, avoid this book. But the others, the others in the run are actually very affordable, like $100 to $200 range, which is affordable in my mind.
Yeah, there's one I like. It's got a good girl on the front. It's got a mummy behind her.
Yeah, I have that one. I don't know if I brought it, but I have that one. Yeah, I like that one too.
And it's like you said, it's affordable.
Yeah. Yep. So this one's affordable. For example, affordable one. Like
that one. That one's pretty famous cover though. You can tell he's like in a cage, and he's probably next.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like almost like sort of Gateway to Hell kind of thing. Like he's seeing all the people getting tortured and stuff like that. I think it's Joe Kubert. Yeah, Joe Kubert.
Yeah, that's a beautiful book.
Yeah,
that's a good score on that one too.
Yeah. So and then we got this is a famous one, kind of like suspense, I guess. Well, so we got. The typical I actually just finished this collection. Not this title, but there's like execution covers that I consider like a set that you have to get.
Yeah.
Like So it's this one. It's the
Yeah.
one with Captain Marvel Jr. And there's one that's from Web of Evil.
Yeah, the Web of Evil, and I knew he was going to name that one. It goes right
Yeah,
with that.
I just got that one. It was in the same auction as the like that I spent like a ton of money on. It's like, but I got it for like a really good price. It was like $300.
Have you seen the Black Cat Mystery? I think it's like number 44. That's got the guy shocking on the cover. It's a electric chair cover too.
Oh yeah. So that one I
Red
don't
cover.
have. I know the one.
That's a
and
cool cover too.
It's on my lists because
I like
thinking,
all the
"Oh,
electric chair covers.
that's a really great electrocution cover too."
There's a couple in the crime too. You could always find electrocution covers.
Yeah, I know.
Little
There's
crime
actually
titles.
once you start going down that rabbit hole, you'll find more. But there's always those three that I think are the kind of the big three.
They're the best.
Yeah. So, and then we got I really do like LB Cole. So
LB Cole. I love everything LB Cole. I had a Doc on here, Man Cave, and
Yeah.
he talked bad about LB Cole, and I was about to kick him off the show.
Oh, really? He talked bad about we were just talking like just a minute ago, and he was like,
I
saying LB
minimized
Cole's
him. I said,
great.
you got to go. But
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I was joking around with him. He says he thinks he's overrated, but he likes him. But I love him. He's one of my favorite artists.
Yeah. I used to think he was a bit overrated too.
I love the colors.
But something about him, actually, once you start getting into him, you get into him. I find his stuff, like, there's a lot more detail than I originally thought there was, and there's just a lot to him. I would say, like, of all the artists from the Golden Age, he's the one that I collected the most. In terms of covers, I have about maybe over 100 LB Cole books.
I think it's his colors, because everything looks like a blacklight poster, you know?
Yeah.
So,
it reminds me of those... this would be really insulting to LB Cole, but you know those Jesus velvet.
Yeah, 70s posters you always see.
Yeah. So it strangely reminds me of that.
My Grail is Mask 1 and 2. I'd love to have those.
Yeah, those are kind of big books.
Yeah.
You know, the other one, to me, those are the big ones for him, and then the Catman would be the other LB Cole kind of big Grail one.
And then that next LB Cole would probably be that one. You seen the one that's like the skull with the spider body?
Oh, skull with a spider body. That's from Punch.
Yeah.
Is it Punch or is it?
It something Terra. But anyway, it's no,
you're right. It's Terrifying Tales or something.
Yeah.
Not
maybe it's Suspense or something.
Yeah, it's the same title as it's Suspense actually.
Yeah.
It's the same title as the other one I showed.
Yeah, that's a beautiful book too. But
that's a great one.
For me, I've always wanted Mask 1 and 2.
There's two versions where it's like his face and the spider's in front, and then there's the one where it's the big spider.
Yeah, with a web.
So somebody actually just recently offered me that one on Instagram.
Was it DS?
But they wanted some crazy price. It was like, and it was low grade. I was like,
probably DS.
What?
Was it DS?
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got a copy of it.
Yeah, he's trying to. He knows that I'll buy stuff, so he's always trying to pitch it to me. So I'm just pulling, like, I didn't really organize it, so it's just it's a bit random,
Great.
But this is like, so like I showed others. This is kind of like, I don't know why they did this, but this is Tales of Terror, and the other one that I showed was Tales of Horror. So they did this as a one shot, and then they changed the title to Tales of Horror. I don't know why they changed the name, but I thought this was kind of a cool cover.
Yeah,
it's very simple, but it kind of reminds me of like those old movies where they go into the crypt, you know, to rescue the girl, and you know she's like, you know, lying there, and you know something bad's gonna happen. Something bad's gonna happen. You don't know what it is, but something bad's gonna happen.
And a lot of people who collect modern books don't realize, but things back in the Golden Age was weird because even like Black Cat Mysteries, like it didn't even become horror till like halfway through it. You know, it started out like a girl
superhero. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they would just right in the middle of a series, like this series starts at number 18.
Yeah. You know? I actually just picked up the first, like, so what happened was the way that series ran, like number 1 through 20 some odd, were all like superhero.
And the girl, kind of like Cat Lady or something.
Yeah, and then they switched it to Black Cat Mysteries, and she was on the first cover of that. Okay, but then they said, okay, let's give her up on her altogether. So I got the first one where it's not her on the cover anymore. It's just pure horror, and I just picked that up in that same auction. So
They
that
had
was
the
another.
total they had a total different belief than like modern comics now, because now modern comics wants to bring out a number one like every 6 months, because
Yeah.
number one issues sell. But back then they like long runs for some reason.
Well, also I heard that they had a thing where if you change the numbering, like if you go back to number one on a like whatever, you had to pay like some extra fee or something like that. There was something with the distribution that they had to pay extra. So that's why they would say, oh, okay, it's number 10 actually. It's not, or they would just continue some run even though it's like a totally different book.
Yeah.
So one sec here. I'm gonna show a bunch of, just because we were talking about LB Cole. I kind of like, so there was a LB Cole, he bought his own publication. And so this is a one shot, but it's kind of a weird one. So there's, one sec here. I gotta always forget the title. What it's called. One sec here. Of course, it's at the very bottom, but like they have like Terrifying Tales, like Jungle Thrills. There was like about 3 different titles, but you need all 3 titles to get the complete run, if that makes sense. It's like, but they're all LB Cole, kind of these jungle kind of bit like pre-code horror, but more jungly.
Yeah.
But with some really great horror covers as well. So
yeah.
This is just the one shot that I needed to complete that collection. So I got the complete collection, and I'll show you the complete collection in a second. One sec. Another title that's really affordable. If you ever want to, like for anyone that's watching and they want to just buy like pre-code horror but really get it on the cheap, this title, except for this one book.
I got that. I got that book too.
This is like this is a 0.5, obviously, just because it's missing that section.
It's always a classic cover though there.
So even in a 0.5, this book goes for about $700.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I paid $50 for this.
So
that's why, I was like, if I'm going to get it that cheap, I don't mind that it's ripped and the girl's intact. So that's the big thing. So so I was quite happy to get it for that price. But
that's the bell of the ball of that run.
Yeah, that's the only one that's expensive. All the rest you can get for like $50 to $100 kind of level.
And there's a couple more cool, really covers in there too.
Actually, this was kind of mixed. So as I said, not organized, but this is just a cool House of Mystery. Yeah, number 1. Yeah. So we were talking about this run. This is where Swamp Thing came from. So
House of Secrets. But yeah, I got you.
Oh, House of Secrets. Yeah, House of Mystery.
Both of them are beautiful.
I always get mixed up. Sorry. Yeah, House of Secrets. House of Secrets number 1 is the one with the mummy, not the mummy, but the Sphinx.
Yeah, they had House of Secrets is the House of Mystery runs a lot longer. That's a hard one to get.
Yeah. So, but both are really great runs. A lot of horror elements in them. So, but this was still in where it's pre-code.
Yeah.
And I just think I always liked this cover. I always thought this was like, again, it's the good girl art element to it. So
yeah.
I always like this one.
The hunter's back there in the background.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna shoot her. Oh yes. I think they think she's a werewolf.
Yeah, they got the dogs running her.
Darling, forgive me, but there's no other way. Wait, Doug. Only a silver bullet can destroy a werewolf. So I guess she's a werewolf. Yeah.
It's a good looking werewolf.
Yeah, I like my female werewolves like that. So that's DC. And then we were talking about this series, Mystic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mystic's awesome.
Yeah, so this is the kind of one of the more famous ones, like the Bride. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that one and the one we was talking about earlier with the morgue.
Yeah,
there's one where there's like a Frankenstein character toting a head on a platter.
Oh, I know that one too. Yes, yeah. That's another big one from the title. Yeah. So I have like about 5 or 6 books. There was actually I think I paid like $100, and it was like on Heritage Auctions, and it was all raw books, but they said Golden Age mixed books, and they said Mystic, and they said a couple of titles, and it was like all pre-code horror. Yeah. I paid $100 for it. It was like 50 books or something crazy. It was just like insanely cheap. Just nobody bid on it. There's some weird things like that where you really luck out on some things sometimes. But this one is a classic cover. Actually, I'm going to show another title. I actually just missing one issue from this run, but it's one that I really like. And I think it's a bit under the radar.
Huh.
Do you know this one?
Yeah, that's one I don't think I've ever seen.
This is the Strange World of Your Dreams. It's kind of like that she's sleeping. It's kind of like horror stories, nightmares, kind of.
Got the green moon and it looks like lava. Yeah, she's definitely in a dream-like state.
Yeah, it's just an interesting one. Who did the art? Joe Simon did the art. Jack Kirby cover.
Yeah. Ah.
So
That's cool when you get Kirby doing something like that.
Yeah, so that's number one. And this is like, it's an affordable title. For,
I've never heard that.
Yeah, and then we got number two. Not sure if it shows that well, but
that's cool too.
Yeah, so as I said, she's always sleeping.
Always dreams.
And then these are like the crazy dreams that she has, almost like the nightmares and like that pre-code horror.
Yeah, and I don't know if people realize there's so much dialogue in them books, like compared to modern books.
Oh yeah, you gotta, it's like reading a novel basically.
There would be more words in the box than there would be the pictures.
Yeah, I gotta grab the other stack of books. So I'm trying to show as much as I can in like as little time. This is like
you're doing good, man. You already showed.
So this is actually one of my favorite covers from this artist. This is Basil Wolverton.
Yep.
This is my favorite cover from him. Yeah. Just bar none.
Got the sci-fi element, like she's looking out the window of a spaceship.
Yeah, so basically they've landed on the planet, and the captain says, "Oh, it's nice and safe outside. Don't worry, there's no life." And then this big alien's looking at her. So, somebody didn't get the memo or something. I don't know. It's like, this is actually a really great run. There's another one in it. Like, so he did a bunch of the covers in the run. The most famous one was also another one that I won at that My Comic Shop auction. And what it is it's where the zombie is coming out of the ground. He's like shooting up from the ground, and the girl's like, ah.
Yeah.
It's a very famous cover. I got that one and this one. So, this one I got separately, but
you got the two best ones in the run.
Yeah, those are the two big ones. Yeah. Another run that has some amazing covers, but almost kind of there's a weirdness to it, is Eerie.
I love Eerie. I pick them up all the time. If you notice, I like
two girls that are the same, right?
They're like the same girl in the front. She's over in the corner.
Yeah.
They'll make her bigger. They'll make her littler. One time they changed her hair to black instead of blonde.
Yeah.
But it's still the same girl.
It's the same girl. It's the same. It's like they got really lazy or something, and they just recycled.
That's the run I was telling you when I was referring to earlier when I didn't really say Eerie, but I was talking about the boxes that they use down there, like the blue box.
Yeah, it's huge.
There's some, it's right over the girl.
Yeah, I don't know why. She's running. I have the complete run now. I just finished that.
I love that Eerie run, and they're kind of affordable. So
yeah,
they're my favorite.
Yeah, some of them are more affordable than others, but yeah.
The whole run though is good.
This was a Wally Wood cover.
Yep.
One sec here. One sec here. Do I have the others in the course? Of course, it's not organized. Yeah. So you're gonna see more Eerie as I go through. See, I showed some Mr. Mystery earlier, and this is actually my favorite Mr. Mystery. There's a bunch that are. Mr. Mystery has some really amazing covers. The reason I like this one is, again, good girl. She's in bondage. I think like the colors have faded, so that this is probably a red dress. I'm going to assume that's a red dress. It's orange in in this, but you got the guy, and he's about to stab her, because if you look at the painting, it's like. So I just think I just like that kind of horror element. That kind of what's going to happen. How is she going to survive this? I like that. So really great cover. So that's my favorite from that run. Actually, that's my favorite pre-code horror cover. I just think it's something about it I just really like. Another one that a lot of people like is this one. So this
Oh yeah,
is Red Seal,
yeah.
and this is just like a classic cover.
Lots of
there-
detail in that one.
there's actually another comic which I didn't bring, but I could have brought. It's like BB Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's the same cover. It's basically like the same cover. This one actually came out after, so this is actually a ripoff of the other one, but this one is probably more famous. It's got the hypodermic needle. You got I think this is the Red Dwarf, right?
Yeah. You got the red dress in distress.
Yeah, Red Dress in Distress.
Bondage.
Yeah, or Black Dwarf. Black Dwarf. I think this is actually the first appearance of Black Dwarf. This character in comics. So, but it's a great one. She's like screaming. She's all in bondage. You got the skulls in the corner here. Just so much
covers like
stuff.
that you can look at for 20 minutes and just stare.
And there's so much in it. Yeah, there's like so much going on here. Like I kind of find this is kind of like the mad scientist lab kind of element to it. It's just it's a great cover. I love this one. So,
that's one of my favorite ones.
I actually have 2 copies of that. This is my downgrade. I wanted it slabbed, but I have like a higher grade raw. But,
you're like me. I'll buy the same book 2 or 3 times. I don't know why, but if I see it and I love it, I'll buy it again.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Everybody's like, "Are you selling your worst one?" I'm like, "No, I'm keeping them both."
No, I would sell or trade my worst one just because then I can get something else.
It's hard for me to get rid of my worst one because usually my worst one I got first. I'm like, well, that one was my first copy of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is one actually. What happened? This has a funny story behind it. It sold really cheaply. Like I was watching it on auction, right, on eBay, and the guy didn't list it properly. So I was watching it, and I had bid, but somebody outbid me, and I was like, okay, I'm going to bid at the last second and like snatch it for cheap, right? So what happened was, I forgot to set my alarm, so I totally missed the bid, but it sold for that cheap price. It sold for like 100 something bucks. It was like really cheap. So the guy that bought it relisted it. And I paid an extra like 30 bucks or something.
Still got a great
but
deal.
it had I probably fought with the guy that won it originally, it probably would have been like more expensive than what I paid. So I was like, I win out in the end, right? So
sometimes it works out and you get the book that you're supposed to have.
Yeah. So I like these. This is another one of those good girl in the red dress bondage cover. There's a bit of a theme with some of my books, but yeah. I like that one. So yeah. Okay. I'm getting my stack is like, you should see this. Like it's getting very precarious. It's like kind of going up to the ceiling here. Speaking of women in distress, so this is Mysterious Adventures.
Yeah.
I believe this is the run where it's a lot of skeletons.
Yeah, a lot of skeletons.
A lot of skeletons. Has some of the best skeleton covers.
I almost felt like it was a mascot for every cover. It's like the same
I don't know why, but lots of skeletons. But
I love the heads in the background. There's so much depth to the detail.
Yeah, got some skeletons there too.
Yeah.
But this is it's just classic pre-decapitation cover, I guess. Like she's gonna get something bad's gonna happen to her head. Bondage just has it all. It's got some cool stuff to it.
That's a really cool book. I like it when they use green. You don't see many pre-code horror in green, and when you do, it really pops.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really cool cover. The only thing is, like, I don't know why they really wanted to make their trade dress stand out. So their trade dress is always so big, like
we were talking about that one night on here, and we were talking about ECs, and we were reading all about ECs and all that, and they were talking about the EC titles being 1/3 of the page, but when you stack them in front of each other on like the shelf they would have been on, you could still see the title.
Well, that's why they did it, right? So they wouldn't you could be able to read that it was an EC title and that somehow sell the book, right?
But like that book you got there, can you imagine pulling that up and just seeing the title and then pulling it up and seeing
the decapitation part? And you say, oh wow, that's
just
really
a
cool.
shocker,
Yeah, it is really great. So, and I was talking about, as I said, everything's not in order. This is another one of those baffling. So for some like this, it's a reasonable grade.
That's
$100.
beautiful.
Yeah.
The yellow.
Yeah.
That one's really popping. Not like the
Yeah.
ghoul back there.
Yeah, he's kind of goofy looking, a little goofy. He's like drooling and stuff. But
well, to me, that reminds me of, back then in them days, there was no internet. There wasn't nothing for artists to reference their drawings to. So they had to use, to me, the two people in the front look like they probably got that off of some kind of,
mummy movie or something.
Either a movie or maybe some old Newsweek magazine or, Time magazine. And then they probably had somebody else to draw that monster back there because the monster looks like a totally different artist,
Oh,
yeah. We got to make this a horror cover.
So it actually, they even says that it's two different artists. Mike Seklowski and then Jim McLaughlin.
Yeah. Because a lot of them artists back in the days, they collected like, all the old Time magazines and stuff because they needed things to reference drawings. So
yeah.
You can see that's probably, there's people that collect, you've got some Golden Age Superman and you see like the battleship in the background and then you go find like I don't know, a Time magazine or something and there's that actual battleship that they use.
Yeah, they'll like even, I think even like Detective 27 is a swipe from something else where they found, hey, that's been used somewhere before. But I like this one. I actually think he's really goofy looking. He kind of doesn't fit. But the thing that I like about it is I always liked those classic horror movies where they go into the mummy's tomb and, they're like, they read this thing that says, do not open, or you'll get the mummy's curse. They're always wearing these kind of hats, it's that typical thing. Yeah. And of course they open it up and bad things happen, but I always
do not read this stone tablature or he'll come back alive. And
you're reading it anyway. Out loud right now. Do not do that. Of course they do, and they're like, oh, what does this do?
Nothing happened, and all of a sudden,
lots happened. Okay, so I found the other Eries. One sec. Okay. So this is actually my favorite of the Erie run. And I kind of like it because it's a headlight cover.
Yeah. They all had on them 60s Sears bras. Yeah,
exactly. So this is like, I think this is the last in the run, 17.
Yeah.
In the run. Yeah, last issue. Yeah. And then it became Strange Worlds 18 afterwards.
Yeah, the Erie books are nice. Every one of them.
Yeah. So it's always the same. The girl, though, it's always funny. She's always doing, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. She's always in the front corner. She's usually in the far corner down there. Yeah. But you'll show 2 or 3 here in a minute, and it's all the same girl.
Yeah, it's always the same girl. You'll see.
Kind of lazy.
This is the girl right there. This is the one. It's the same exact. It's like you can almost like overlap. Like
and that's the full. I mean, you can see from her hips to her head, and then they'll zoom up a little bit, and the next one be her boobs in her head. Then the next one will be a blanketed version of that.
So one sec. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
They're not in particularly great order. And then this is another Wally Wood one.
That's the one I was talking about where I believe the blue box is in the wrong
did
spot.
They put the box. They should have put it on this side.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's right in the wrong spot.
I mean, it totally, the sexiness of the girl is kind of like blocked out.
And that's one of my favorite covers. I love the ghoul back there and the skulls down the side of the street. I'm like, but it could have been better if they had just moved that box.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really weird thing that they did. I don't know why they did that, but
they were into reading back in the day, and they didn't think they were worth money. They weren't collectible or anything like today. And that shows you right there. That thing's got like 6 stories in it, and I guess that's what they wanted you to know. This book's got a lot of reading in it.
Yeah, lots of, and they're all cool stories like Phantoms of Reality, The Ship of Death. Yeah. Puppet pulls the strings.
If you could just wrote it across the bottom and put all the different, words down there.
And the cool thing is it's a lot of Wally Wood stuff in there. Okay, so now for some reason, not in order. So I have a lot of raw books for the Erie run. So these are all my slabs right here. But the other Eries are later. I'll show those as well.
Jungle.
So this is the one I was talking about. I was saying Thrills of the Jungle. This is Terrors of the Jungle.
Yeah.
So these were all ones.
I love that one, and I love the one where the woman's kind of trying to get out like a swamp, and there's like a fire voodoo guy behind her.
I'll be showing that one, so don't worry. It's in here. Okay, so yeah, Terrors of the Jungle, and then we got. See, it's just like all these, and then it's Terrifying Tales.
I mean, look at all them beautiful colors. I mean, LB Cole, every one of
I
his,
know.
all of his stuff looks just like a, like a black light poster.
And the interiors are reprints, right? What they did is they reprinted Fiction House and Fox Publications. These would be Fox Publications inside, like JoJo Comics or Rula or Zoot or something like that. But he would put on these really amazing covers, like his own, because it's his own company, right? So LB Cole's a really great artist. So these are all Star. But it doesn't actually say what's inside, but yeah, I think these were great.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then one sec here, and we got Terrors of the Jungle.
That's a classic cover. A lot of people love that one.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Yeah, and actually the most famous, like as I said, it's like a whole bunch of different titles. Is probably this is the most famous, I would say, from the run. The Devil.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hardest one to get and the most expensive, I'd say.
Yeah, easily the most expensive in the run. Actually, they've all kind of gone up recently. I was like shocked.
Anything with LB Cole goes up, and then that's just the classic Devil. You always see just the white dude with the mustache.
Yeah.
Any 50s Devil had that outfit and it went around his head like he was wearing fake horns.
With the little horns and stuff.
Yeah.
That sort of typical look. But this one has like so many elements to it, and it's hard to see like probably on the screen, but there's like voodoo people in the background, and she's in bondage, and the thing I like about the girl is it kind of reminds me of the like during the 50s pinup, the 40s, 50s, like where they had that sort of, they would always wear these kind of like jungly kind of like swimsuits. I don't know why they like that kind of style.
And the cool name at the bottom, the Deathfire.
The what?
Yeah, Deathfire in the bottom. That's cool. Everything about it's cool.
Yeah, it's very it's got so much.
I read that as a kid.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And then we got two more from my slab section. So this is another from that run.
The baboons are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, the baboons are really amazing.
Sure.
I'm going to zoom in so you can see it a bit better.
Yeah, that's black. I mean, that's a really nice copy.
Yeah.
Most of the time you see a lot of color breaking on that book because of all the black.
Yeah, this one's in really great shape. Considering like it's only a 4.5, but it shows nicely.
Can you imagine being alive back then, being able to get them off the
every week for 10 cents?
That and the Supermans, the Batmans, yeah.
So this is another one. This one is kind of interesting for the run because it's just so different from the rest of the series because it has this kind of like dragon-like creature.
Yeah.
So this is
very colorful.
Yeah. And then,
they're 10 cents a piece. You could probably went to somebody's house and got 10 for 10 cents. The yard sale.
Yeah. At the time, right? It's like, it's like here. I have to. Okay, so here's more from that run. Got the gorilla one.
It's awesome.
And then when we get to the one that you just said, it's just
that one's really pretty too.
Yeah, I mean the colors.
Eyes of death.
Yeah, colors really pop. There's the jungle. There's a lot in the series. It's like 20 some odd issues. So. Did I freeze up?
Come back. Oh, there he is.
Okay, so I didn't realize I froze up there. So yeah,
there you go.
I was just gonna say there's a lot of issues in the run. It's like 20 some odd issues in the run. So lots of really great covers. All LB Cole covers.
I like that gorilla back there. I don't know what he did though to make his stuff so different than everybody else's, but he did his own thing. Yeah, he did his own thing. Yeah, it's really not the artwork as much as it's colors, but everything he put on the shelf would have popped.
Yeah. I mean, these would have really stood out at the time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they're beautiful now, but imagine brand new how bright and vibrant they'd have been.
I know, yeah. They would have been amazing. Like this one's a bit faded, for example. I mean, the previous one wasn't bad. But yeah, I mean, I imagine these oranges. Okay, so the next one is the one that you like.
Yeah, that was cool too.
But there are a lot of these kind of jungle girl bondage, a bit of horror elements to them.
This one's got a lot of horror.
This is the one that everyone thinks about. His face is like on fire or something.
Face is on fire. She's running from him up the steps or whatever out the swamp.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. And if you actually spend some time, there will be little details that you won't notice until you kind of spend some time looking at it. But this is a great cover.
Swirl in the background.
Yeah. And then, okay, so these are all my ghost ones. Should I show my ghost ones?
Go ahead. I love ghost.
Okay. You have all these, right?
I love 1, 4, 6, 2. Yeah.
Okay, so here's one.
Yeah, that one's awesome. You got the swirly effect. She's holding the gun. The tombstones are it's like a dreamlike state. That monster in the cover is really detailed too. Yeah,
Maurice Whitman is like awesome. I really.
And what most people don't realize, I don't know if you can kind of see it on this one. You see the weird specter type character back there by the post, and the light back there.
Right up here, right?
Now over on your other hand.
Oh,
your other hand down there. See the light in the background. There's a guy standing by that light.
Oh yeah. I think I saw that you mentioned it on your channel.
Yeah, that's eerie to me. Just a guy off in the shadows.
Yeah, he's like a very shadowy figure.
Yeah, come on, yeah. I love that book. It's one of my favorite books.
Yeah, it's a really great cover.
Maurice Whitman can do no wrong.
This one is, I think, one of the more interesting ones in a way because it's like all the different ways of dying.
Yeah. To me, it reminds me of that other cover you showed earlier, where the guy was behind the bars waiting to get, everybody was getting chopped up in there.
Maybe a little bit. There's another. This reminds me of a different cover. Actually, it reminds me of Brenda Starr or something like that. There's a sort of similar one that's like where the girl's on the bed and getting operated on.
It's like he's looking down in a hole and he's getting shot at.
Yeah. But I just like the fact that you got like the one guy's drowned, you got one guy that's hung over here, and then you got the girl. I don't know what's happened to her. Maybe overdosed or something. I don't know. Like pills. Like she's had poison. You can see the poison.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. I think that's cool that they show different ways of dying, and they're all like kind of hovering around.
Yeah, that one's awesome too.
Yeah.
You think there's gonna be some kind of sacrifice?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I got this one.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Oh,
I've always liked that one.
I do like the way the girl presents, but yeah. So it is this thing that you mentioned.
She's already falling right there.
She's already falling. Yeah.
And the detail of the ghost telling her to jump.
Yeah, I mean, all of them are pointing down, right? They're all like basically trying to get her to jump.
Yep.
And then we got number 11.
Yep.
Yeah, I always felt like is this like his like ex-girlfriend or something like that, asking him to come back, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, ghosts are great. Yeah, that was Witch's Doll.
Yeah.
That one. A lot of people love the werewolf cover.
Werewolf, and also like great skeleton cover.
Yeah,
skeleton covers seem to are really popular in the golden age as well. It seems like people all go for them. But yeah, actually, what's funny? I never really noticed the werewolf.
You never seen the werewolf?
I never really noticed. Like I know that he's there, but I never really thought about it that he's a werewolf. I just thought he was like some creepy ghouly guy.
The werewolf cover and the number 6 with the one we was talking about earlier with the ghoul.
Quasimodo.
Yeah, them two seem to be the most expensive to me.
Yeah.
And maybe 2. 2 really the one you like.
Yeah, the one I like. But I always noticed the skeleton for some reason.
Yeah. I always notice the werewolf.
That's really weird. Okay.
Well, that's the good thing about his art. Everybody picks up something else,
Yeah. So now that you say the werewolf, it's like I see it when I look at it.
Yeah, I've always liked that one too.
I didn't really like this cover as much as some of the others.
I like the morphine up the side. It's like guy with the pipe.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I like the good girl. I like the fact that he has good girl elements to every cover.
Yeah.
Every single cover has a good girl.
Well, every bit of that cover is also, I mean, if you look at his work, every bit of the cover is being used. There ain't no just like a black background, you know? It's like,
yeah. There's so much happening here.
All the way back to the full moon, way back there. It's like layers.
Yeah. I mean, that's what really is so great about the Golden Age, like where they would just so much detail, so much story happening. Like you're like, oh, he's trapped under a thing. There's these ghost guys. What are they doing? Oh, why is this girl in bondage? Why is like he's actually the weird thing is like he's actually holding a chain that's wrapped around the girl and stuff. You know, there's just so many details and
the fact that was hand drawn. You know, now everything's made on a computer. And how long will that take to draw? And you're on a deadline, you know?
I don't know. I mean, but they were pumping out art. They working these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is number 5, I believe.
Yeah, you got about the whole run, don't you?
I do have the whole run.
Yeah.
So, the only thing that bothers me is this one. It's missing a big chunk. But
yeah, the witch voodoo doll swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the voodoo doll has the same color dress and stuff. I think that's a cool touch.
Yeah, that witch is real detailed too in the background. It's a beautiful book.
Yeah.
That's that guy that came through the attic door. It's always the same guy trying to save these girls.
Yeah, he's not doing a very good job. So those are like those ones. Now we're getting it. Okay, so this is a bit crime, bit pre-code horror, if that makes sense.
I love crime. I think crime books, I've said on here before, is a lot more violent than the pre-code horror. You know?
Yeah. This one's
think about the crime covers.
So this is like there's like a Punch comic that everyone thinks about when they think of like, oh, that's a classic pre-code horror. This is kind of this is the poor man's version of that. Okay,
skull cover.
Yeah, it's a skull cover, big skull. I actually prefer this one, strangely, because like you got the guy's punching the girl in the face.
Yeah, that was the times, man.
And it's just like, you know, they got the bars and the people are behind them. And it's just like, wow, it's a really crazy cover. It's, so yeah, I kind of like this. This is Gangsters Can't Win volume 1, number 2. So
yeah, you think about crime and you think about all the decapitation heads and putting heads in, pothole covers. I mean, they're the one where the guy's setting his girlfriend's head on a stove. I mean, there's
that one I'm trying to get.
That's a lot more to me.
Crime doesn't pay, right? That's like
crime. Yep. But that stuff's a lot more violent, I think, than any pre-code horror. You know, there's a lot of hanging covers in the EC and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, one sec. For some reason, there's random stuff mixed in with the pre-code horror. It's like, okay, so we got Chamber of Chills. So
that's
this one I have a bit of a funny story. I bought this from Elite Comics, and it was a claim sale. And everyone was saying, oh, that the monster guy looked like the guy that was doing the claim sale. So I was like, oh, I got to buy that just because it's they're making fun of the guy. So yeah, that was great.
More red dress.
Yeah, girl in a red dress. Like it is
always red.
It's always red. It's, you know, always in a state of disrepair as well. This is another LP Cole one. Shocking mystery. This run is, you know, got so many great covers in it.
And you can see the horror on her face on that one.
Oh yeah, I mean, as I said, his style in this run is a bit like it's more like has more of these lines and stuff. It's a little different than his regular style. If you look at it, I think but one sec here. Okay, I gotta grab the right stack. Okay. Oh. Okay. So sometimes I buy comics just because they're cheap. This is Haunt of Fear, but it's, you know, a remainder copy, or, you know, a little rough. Awesome. But I do like EC, but I got this so cheap that, you know, sometimes when it's just like so cheap.
Yeah. So cool. I mean, I don't mind what, you know, they all have a story. You know what I mean? If the price matches the condition, I'll buy them all day. You know?
Yeah.
I really like them. If they're complete and I can read them or something, it don't matter. I've bought books with no covers, so.
Yeah. So sometimes I do that too. If it's a rare comic, the only way you can get it is like coverless. But it's a cool thing I'd love to just read. And when it's that great, you don't do you really, you don't have to worry, you just read it.
Yeah.
Actually, a funny one that I bought like that was Pep Comics #1.
Yeah.
It's a coverless copy. I got it for like $150. It's still an expensive book, but it's like Pep Comics #1. So,
I bought Detective 300, Detective Comics, and it's the first Polka Dot Man. I love the Polka Dot Man for some reason.
Yeah.
And it was a CGC, in case, nice. But I found one on eBay without a cover for like $45. I'm just going to buy it and read it. So, I mean,
yeah.
So ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I actually picked that book up fairly cheaply before he got announced in the movie.
I love all the B and C list, bad guys.
Yeah, me too. I like Polka Dot Man. Yeah, he was actually good in the movie too. The guy.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that they killed him off, but
yeah, because I'd like to see him continue. But
yeah, so Crime Patrol is a kind of important title. Because it led to Crypt Keeper and stuff like that. So this is not the big. I think it's 13, right?
That Crypt Keeper book is probably one of the biggest books you could get.
Yeah, it's like a $5,000 to $10,000 book. It's crazy. I actually bid on it so many times and always lost because it was just way past what I would be willing to spend on it.
I think people that love just. I don't know. It's almost a cross collectible. It ain't just the pre-code horror people after it. It's people that love Tales from the Crypt and all that too. So
yeah. It's really hard.
And he's not even on the cover. So
he's not even on the cover. It's not a bad cover. It's not.
Yeah.
I
love that run too.
This run has like a lot of affordable books.
Yeah.
There's a few that are expensive, but this is one of the more affordable ones.
That was one of the first runs I started collecting when I got into pre-code horror.
Yeah.
Because of that reason, there's cool covers and they wasn't really very expensive.
Yeah. So it says it says $275. That's Canadian. And then I got it down to 200 Canadian. So I paid like $150 for this. That's like not an expensive book, but it's, it shows really well.
Yeah.
Like a reasonably high grade VG. Okay. And then I grabbed the wrong stack. It's like a whole bunch of random stuff that's totally not related. Then we got some Haunt of Fear.
That's a classic cover.
Yeah, I actually got this in a lot where it was like a whole bunch of EC stuff. And this was like, just one of the ones. These are all ghastly covers. Bernard Bailey, I believe.
Yeah, hold on one second. Yeah, that's a beautiful book.
Yeah.
There's a month you can get a Halloween mask of that too. They redid a EC Halloween mask of that cover.
Oh yeah. I think you showed it to me, didn't you?
Yeah, I was going to show you some others. I got some other of them in, but yeah, that's a cool mask.
And then some more baffling. Some of the covers in this one are pretty cool. Baffling.
Yeah, that yellow is popping. That's figuring out with the yellow.
Yeah, and it's like, you got the girl bondage, red dress, all the tropes. You can see what I like.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Maybe that's why we like the ghost covers, because the ghost covers, you like the number 2 with the yellow dress. 4's got a white dress. They're the only ones that ain't doing the red dress. So
yeah, it's weird that you're right. There's a few that are red dress, but not that one.
Yeah.
And then we got some more baffling. I like this one. They're trying to feed her some poison or something.
Yeah, I like those monsters.
Yeah. This is not. Okay, so these are the other Eries. I was like wondering where I put all my Eries. I was like,
Eries are awesome.
So I like mummy covers.
I love mummy covers. That guy, he don't like he's been rotting too long in there.
Yeah, he looks kind of fresh.
He might be acting like a mummy.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with him, but I always thought this was a weird cover. It sort of didn't fit the run. Yeah. I don't know why. It looks like a very different style from the rest of the run.
The headdress is so classic with Erie. It's just different than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Mind you, like whenever you was in high school and you wrote a heavy metal band across your book or whatever, it's just like bubble letters. Yeah. Mm. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, I always felt like this is like like the River Styx or something like that. Like Master of the Dead. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of like the River Styx or something like that, or like I don't know.
Hold on, hold that book up. Tell me if that don't remind you of this though.
Okay.
Let me grab one real quick. You got that guy right there going through the tunnel of love with his girlfriend.
Yeah, I think Tunnel of Love, but yeah. So that's like almost like part B of this.
Yeah, book. Yeah. It's like it went on through, and this is what happened.
Yeah. It actually died. Actually, if these were together, it would look like, you have the story.
Yeah, that reminds me of that one a lot.
Yeah. And this is actually a really key bit. Like, actually, this is probably the biggest key within the run.
Yeah, I've got that one. That's
This
first
is the
Dracula.
first Dracula. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big book of the bunch.
Yeah.
And there's a reprint of that too. You got to watch out for because it looks very similar.
Yeah, it's the IW one, right?
Yeah, and it's still a $800 book or whatever.
Yeah. So if you're gonna buy it, always look in this corner. It'll say IW if it's the reprint, and if it's Avon, that's the one you want.
Yeah, that's the best book.
Yeah, this is the big one.
You gotta have that one. You got you gotta have the first Dracula if you're in a prequel.
And this one, I always thought this one was a little bit weird, almost disturbing. I always thought, like, it looks like he has like multiple appendages.
Yeah, they're on drugs whoever did this one. I don't know what's going on. You got like a bug riding a black cat with a woman on the back. That's a cool tattoo.
It's just the extra middle part that I thought was like a little strange. I always thought this one was a little weird.
Wasn't weird enough. They said we need to add a little something to it.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there, but and then we got this.
There's
is
the girl
again. Same girl.
She's closer up this time.
Yeah, it's a little
same exact picture though.
Same picture. I don't know. Like I was like, because I when I bought one of them, I was like, wait, do I have this one? And then
I've done the same exact thing. And then there's a black-headed one. Yeah, that one I like that one a lot.
This one I bought 4 times, but this is the only copy I ever got. So every time it got lost in the mail. 4 times I had to buy it to get the book. It's just like, this is insane. Why does it keep on getting lost in the mail?
You stuck with it.
I stuck with it until I got it. I really like this one because it's double bondage. You got the girl in the red dress and the blue dress. So I really like that one. I always thought the monster looked really creepy. And then we got another vampire one.
And another bad blue box in the wrong spot.
Yeah, really dumb placement of the box.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
Yeah, so that's creepy. So that's an hour.
We're good. We're good. You want one more? You got one more you can show?
Let me see. Let's see.
Go out with one more.
Okay, well, I just grabbed a bunch here. Okay, so one of the titles that I really like is Tales of the Crypt. And I just like it because it's Tales of the Crypt. I do too. I liked that whole TV series, the whole, I always thought it was such a cool thing, like the Crypt Keeper and stuff. And I like this one because it's like, execution cover.
Their art is so good, but you take up 33% of the cover with the dress, and then you got the girls down the side every time with the witches. Yeah. And they still do a great job of putting a good cover on there.
Yeah, it's amazing how much, despite all of that, and very little real estate to work with, they got a lot of stuff going on in it.
Yeah. Well, Jacob says a great show tonight. Dope and Alan.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Ranfaust says great show. Looked like everybody really liked the show tonight. I'm glad everybody came out. Keep on showing them, Alan, as I talk us out of here.
Yeah, this is the zoomed up version of the same one.
Steve, everybody came tonight. Good show. Rob Fat Stacks was in here. Brian was in here. So, pass the mic. Fast George. KB, thank you for coming. Ben, City of Compton.
I was mentioning
Jacob. There, yeah.
This is my other copy of the.
Yeah, they look like they belong together.
Yeah, so I kept them together.
I think the one on the right's a lot better artwork though.
Which is the right? This one?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Me too. So this one came first.
Yeah.
And then, but I think, the Red Seal one is better.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But man, it's been great having you on here.
All right. I tried to show like a lot.
You did.
I think I showed
it's
over
hard
100 comics in that time period. So
it's hard to show that much, especially in an hour. Most of the time when I go on people's shows, like Rob Fat Stacks or something, and we do slab shows, I think in about an hour I show about 30. So
yeah,
you did.
I wanted to show a bit.
Did a lot, And like you said, I've been on your show before. You've been on mine now. Maybe next time we'll get together and we'll do superheroes or something. I know we both got a lot of superhero stuff. So, but it's been fun.
Okay.
And we are out of here.
Thanks again.
Thank you, buddy.